So we will we are on. So we'll start with the stories from Bhagavatam Tales of Krishna. But before that, just last week we were discussing about. So that day I was telling about the story of Sati, Lord Shiva, and Daksh. So why did Sati actually had had to get this punishment of burning her? She was burned herself. She burned herself. So what was the reason that she went through this? So she was at her father's place and she had to kill herself. So why this happened to her? So one reason is that Sati actually, Sati did not listen to her husband Vaishnava. Listen to a Vaishnava. Not listening to a Vaishnava will result in punishment to us. So that was the reason that she had to go through this thing. So anything which happens bad to us is actually because of our faults, our karmas, whatever we do. So in this case, Sati had to suffer because she did not listen to Lord Shiva, who is a Mahavishnu, who is a topmost of Vaishnava, and she did not listen to her. So if you see in lot of our, just a minute, na? Hare Krishna. Sorry. Hi, Iris, you raise your hand. Sorry.
Before I could not hear you.
Acha, you couldn't hear me before? No, I had put on mute now. I was talking to someone, I got a call. So I was just telling about why Sati got this punishment because she did not listen to a Vaishnava. So whatever sins we happen, whatever stories we listen, the great sages or great people, anything negative which happens to them, they know they are the cause for it. It's because of their karmas, their misdeeds, something bad happens. And whatever good happens is because of the mercy of the Lord. So that thought process we should have. But generally what happens in Kali Yuga, people think, whatever good happens is because I have done great, I am great, I have done a lot of hard work. It's all because of me. And there is no role of God. But whenever anything bad starts happening to us, we start blaming God. We say, Bhagwan ne mere saath aisa kar diya. Why has God done this with me? And God does not have time to do anything with us. He'll do only good for all. He doesn't have time to do bad for anybody. Whatever bad happens is because of our karmas for which we have to suffer. So that was it. And Lord Shiva, Sati, where this thing happened, where Daksh Prajapati did this place is there in Haridwar. So there's a temple called Daksh Mahadev Mandir. It's near in Haridwar city. So that's the place where this Leela, this actually thing happened. So where Sati had done this, Sati was where Daksh Mahadev and Lord Shiva had met. So that temple is called Daksh Mahadev. So you see, a lot of places now are there. We have lot of evidence of everything which has happened. So if you see Nilkant Mahadev, so where Lord Shiva drank poison. So where did he drink poison? That temple is there in Rishikesh. So it's called Nilkant Mahadev temple. So it's on a mountain. So that's a place where Lord Shiva took poison. So if you see, I went to Bet Dwarka, I was telling you that there's a place called Jamban Gufa, Jamban Caves. So there's a place where Jamban used to live and he gave Lord Krishna his daughter Jambavati in marriage. And he fought with Lord Krishna, and then Lord Krishna won and he realized that he's Lord Ram only. And then he gave him money. So those places, evidence like Bet Dwarka is a place where Lord Shiva and Lord Krishna and Sudama met. Lord Krishna and Sudama, they met. So, and the palaces of the wives were there, and everything is there. And I was seeing a video which shows all these evidences, and there have been researches being done, and they could find the palace below the sea, and they have found evidences. These uh, palaces or these places are more than 5,000 years old. So those places exist, and everything has a proper evidence. So we have all evidences of all our history. So when we visit, we visit any place, we should visit after studying about it. Once we study that and we visit, then we'll actually enjoy that place very well. So if you see now Bet Dwarka, if somebody has been to Dwarka and Bet Dwarka, so you have to go through a boat. You have to go through a boat to Bet Dwarka. But now there's a road which is like a worldly sea. If you've seen a worldly ceiling road in Mumbai, exactly same similar looking road is coming up, which will connect Dwarka to Bet Dwarka, and it will get ready by August 23 or 24, August 24. So and once that is ready, I think it will get a little early only, it will get ready. And once that is ready, it will be so easy to come into that place. So today you have to, many people can't travel through a boat, it's challenging. But once that road comes, the traveling to Bet Dwarka will become so easy. So that's the place where Krishna and Sudama met. So I was talking about. So now we'll cover some stories from this Bhagavatam, and we'll do Dhruv story, very nice and very important, most important, one of the important stories from Srimad Bhagavatam. So this we'll start off Lord Krishna. Okay, a fruity trade-off. One day a fruit seller woman came to Gokul and called out, "I have delicious fruits. Anyone who wants them, please come." When she reached the beautiful palace of King Nanda, Krishna heard her calls and wanted some fruits too. During those times, it was common to exchange food grains for other goods. Krishna had observed his elders doing this and decided to try it himself now. He eagerly grabbed some grains from home and hurried to the fruit seller to get some juicy fruits. However, by the time he reached her, most grains had slipped through his hands. Just a minute. So barter trade, what we call it in those times. So there was no cash dealings, which was actually better because cash has made people crazy. So barter trade was, you give me something, I give you something in exchange. So the cobbler, he used to do the service of shoes, and he would get vegetables or grains from the farmers, and farmers will give grains in exchange for whatever service they want. And at the time, actually, farmers were rich because they had those power, and that was the most important thing. But now, in fact, the farmers have become little at low level because they don't get the price. The middle agents, they get those price. So the barter system at that time is different. So same with the fruit seller lady, you would have heard about it. She came and so Lord Krishna, as a small child, brought some grains because he used to see his parents how they used to buy things, get things. So the fruit seller was captivated by Krishna's charming face. He didn't care for the grains. He lovingly filled his hands with as many fruits as he could hold. She didn't even know that the little boy standing before her was God. All she wanted to see him smiling happily. So this is a bow of everyone in Gokul. So they don't know Lord Krishna is a God, and they want to love him in all ways. And when they see him, they just get lost in ecstasy. They just start loving Lord Krishna. Delighted by her pure love and selfless offering, Krishna blessed her in a special way. Suddenly her basket filled up with valuable jewels. However, more than jewels she received, Krishna's smiling face warmed the fruit seller's heart. Have you relished child Krishna's sweet deeds inside and just outside his home? So what happened? So uh, it, when she got the fruits, Lord Krishna was very happy with her. That she did not have any greed. Lord is always happy with somebody who offers whatever he offers with love and without any, with humility and without any greed. If somebody offers something, to the Lord, I'm offering you this, you give me a big bungalow, you give me a car, make me wealthy. He doesn't like those people. People who offer him anything, maybe a small thing also with love, he's very happy with that person. And here he shows, such a small fruit seller, he's so happy, she's giving her fruit. With Lord Krishna giving her very, very less grains in his hand because most of the grains had fallen when he was coming to the fruit lady. And then what happened? Lord gives everything. Lord gave her jewels in her basket. So when she reached home, she had jewels in her basket. Same thing happened with Sudama. So Sudama came to meet Lord Krishna. He did not have anything. In fact, he borrowed some rice or poha, what we call it, something, and he brought, and that was also stale kind of a thing. And then he was not willing to give to Lord Krishna, but Lord Krishna wanted that. He pulled it from him, and he gave him everything for the grains what he got, because he likes love more than more than that what you are offering. If you give him more gold and everything, and there's no love in that, he doesn't accept anything. So if you see Vidur, so we say Vidur ke ghar when he saag khayo, and he did not have food at Duryodhan, because Duryodhan had made chappan bhog, he had made so much of food for Lord Krishna, but he did not eat because that was not with love. It was only for greed and with envy and arrogance. So he did not have food, and he went to Vidur's place, and he took food. He had only saag. Saag means just palak or a green vegetable. Why he got only vegetable saag? Because at that time, one of the sages has written that when Duryodhan came to know that Lord Krishna is not having food at his place, the lunch or dinner at his place, and he's going to Vidur's place, he had instructed all the stores, Kirana stores, not to give anything to Vidur. So Vidur had his own farm where he used to grow this saag vegetable, and from his own vegetable garden, he pulled up saag and cooked, and he gave to Lord Krishna. In fact, before Vidur came, his wife, when she was offering fruit, she was offering banana to Lord Krishna. She was actually peeling and throwing the banana out, and she was giving only the covering, the chilka, to Lord Krishna. And Lord Krishna was eating it also. And because she was lost in love with, she was just watching Lord Krishna's face. So Lord is very merciful. He loves people who are with pure heart, very humble. He doesn't like anybody when he is smart and this thing. He doesn't. So here also, this lady was with pure love. Krishna wants our pure love rather than our gifts. Even if we offer him a lot of things, if it's done merely as a routine, it lacks the ability to truly reach Krishna. But unconditional affection holds the power to deeply impress Krishna's heart. So, can you find a verse in Bhagavad Gita where Krishna tells us most important ingredient in any offering that we make him? I think patram, palam, push, and water.
You can ask if anyone knows. No? You can ask the participants if anyone knows.
9.26.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's the verse, and we should offer with love and devotion is what the verse talks about.
And all, yes, absolutely. I don't remember the verse number, but you were right. Thank you so much for informing all. And it's love. It's only with love. If we try to show arrogance and this thing, Lord will throw us out. He'll kick us out. Anybody who has little bit of arrogance, he is thrown out. It comes down. He falls down actually. Complaints of love. So we'll move to next. Complaints of love. So now naughty Krishna didn't just limit his stealing to Mother Yashoda's house. He would also sneak into the homes of other gopis. While the gopis were secretly delighted that Krishna was visiting them, they would pretend to be angry and scold him for being a thief. Despite this playful scolding, the gopis cherished these moments with Krishna and never wanted to forget his enchanting deeds. They would often gather to discuss and share stories about Krishna's mysteries among themselves. This kept their minds absorbed. Whose phone is this? Right now, who is getting a call? Is it because my Bluetooth is? I'm using my son's Bluetooth. Probably his phone is ringing. Okay, sorry. So they kept their mind absorbed in thinking about Krishna constantly. So this is a way of thinking only about Lord Krishna. So the gopis, what they used to do, they were just thinking about Lord Krishna always. So this way also, but and whenever, in fact, Lord Krishna used to come and steal, they used to feel happy, but they would show that they are angry. One day the gopis thought Krishna visits our home to steal butter, but he probably doesn't do that at his house. That means Mother Yashoda doesn't get to see his cute prank. We must inform her. With this idea, they put a face of annoyance and headed to Mother Yashoda. They started playfully telling her about Krishna's butter stealing adventures, which was in truth their excitement to share the stories of Krishna disguised in the garb of complaints. So also they are complaining, but what they are doing, they're talking about Krishna always. So they're just discussing Krishna's pastime. So this also they want to go to meet Yashoda and just show that, share with her, how his son is so cute. But they wanted to show with anger, showing that, we are angry with him. But as a complaint they are going. The gopis said, "Oh Yashoda, Krishna comes to our homes and sets the calves free." Yashoda calmly replied, "What's wrong with that? He loves the calves." The gopis would reply, "But he does it when it's the time to milk the cows. The calves drink up all the milk, and when we go to milk the cows, there's nothing left." So whenever if you had seen, how the cow milk is obtained, first a calf is put near the mother cow, so that the mother cow gets a feeling. She gets an excessive feeling, and the milk starts flowing from her this thing, and a lot of milk gets accumulated. And first the calf will just start sucking some milk. Then that calf is put aside, and then the farmer or the person will start milking the cow so that they get a lot of milk. But what Krishna will do, he would let the calves free. So calves are in separately. If you see, the calves are always kept separate. The cows are kept separate. So he will free the calves. So the cows will go to the mother cows and start drinking the milk. And then there is no milk left for the cowards or with the gopis. Yashoda replied, "Krishna is just a child. He has done this out of ignorance. There are many people at your house. Can they not prevent it?" The gopis replied, "No, he comes when everyone is busy with household work and frees the calves." Yashoda asked, "Then why don't you scold him?" The gopis sighed. "When we get angry and shout, 'Catch him, tie him up,' he just smiles. His smile is so enchanting that we forget to be mad and can't stop him." Seriously, Yashoda asked, but why does he do it at all? Laughing, the gopis mimicked Krishna's words. "I want to drink milk." They described Krishna releases the calves to make people run here and there, and then he enters our house, steals and drinks our tasty milk and curd. Yet we are unable to do anything. Even as he relishes the spoils of his thievery right in front of our eyes, he just sits there eating without even making an attempt to run away, while we stand there bewildered with his antics and charmed by his smile. So he is bold. He is giving such beautiful pastimes to the gopis. He'll make the calves run away. Then when everybody is running behind the calves, he'll go enter the house and then steal the milk, the curd, and the butter. And then when these guys come, they're scolding. He stays there with lot of, with his antiques, and he's smiling and he's showing that love. And these guys are wondering and they're just watching him. Yashoda said, "Oh, you are being so unkind. Why don't you offer him some milk before he takes some on his own? The poor boy must have been hungry. Why not let him eat until he's satisfied?" Smiling, the gopi said, "His tummy is always full, since you feed him well. It's not about hunger. He has a taste for stealing. He prefers stolen milk, not the milk we give him. If we offer milk, he won't take it." So Lord enjoys. He is enjoying. He says, "I don't want your milk like this. I will steal with efforts. I will take those milk." And he is enjoying. He's always full. Obviously, the Lord is always full. He's never hungry, but he's doing pastimes and enjoying the pastimes with the gopis. Yashoda inquired, "Well then, what's the harm if he takes a little milk from your storage?" The gopis explained, "He chooses the creamiest milk saved for our husband." Yashoda defended Krishna. "An untaught, innocent child cannot steal from you, for you are very clever. See, Lord is so smart. He'll steal the best of the milk or best of the butter from the house. He's not just stealing ordinary." So the gopis are storing it very secretly, but still he's able to steal it. The gopis talked about Krishna's amazing thieving skills, saying, "Innocent, your son is smarter than you can imagine. His stealing methods are truly innovative and unseen before. He is so skillful that he releases our calves even while we are directly watching, mystifying us with his smile." So we are just watching and he's releasing the cows and methods are innovative. So if you see what we are talking, suppose if it was not Lord Krishna, so if our Nityanand Chanandas Prabhuji always talks about this, if it was not Lord Krishna and if it was somebody, it was some material person, if we are talking, about theft being done by some person, so it will not be, enjoying. So you'll say, "Arey, he's a thief." Somebody tells, "Oh, you are a thief," in a forum, you'll feel bad, or you are born in a jail. But Lord Krishna is Lord Krishna. Even if he's born in a jail, it is a great thing. We visit that jail. We visit Mathura to see that jail where he's born. And he's stealing. We are reading about this, how he's stealing. So we are enjoying that. We are cherishing those things, because for Lord Krishna, every activity is a pastime. It's a beautiful pastime. So Yashoda replied, "This is the result of the pity of your ancestors that Krishna enjoys at your homes. Why don't you accept this joyfully?" The gopis said, and Yashoda is saying, it's because of your ancestors' pity or sins that he's coming to your house and enjoying. Why don't you accept it? So the gopi said, "We are happy if he enjoys the butter, even with his friends. But he feeds it to the monkeys first. But the monkeys are already full and don't eat. If just one monkey doesn't eat, Krishna refuses to, saying, 'If you are not eating, then why should I eat?' Distressed, he breaks the pots, and sometimes he has already eaten, so he does not eat the stolen food, but still breaks the pots and blames us. So he does a lot of fun. So he's feeding the monkeys and enjoying him. The monkeys don't eat, he's breaking the pots." So there's one story which most of you, if you are part of Nityanand Charandas Prabhuji's group, so he always says there was one, person who came to Bombay to become a hero. So he came in the time when Amitabh Bachchan was at his top, in his top career, and this person came from some small town and he wanted to become a hero. So when he came, but his luck did not fail, and he landed up in ISKCON. He went become a devotee, and he enjoyed staying there and became devotee. But what had happened, because he loved movies, he had written on his hand, "Mera Baap Chor Hai." So this is the famous thing which is written in, is part of Amitabh Bachchan's movie. I'm sure you would have watched or heard about that movie. कौन सी मूवी थी वो, जिसमें अमिताभ बच्चन ने लिखा था "मेरा बाप चोर है"?
दीवार.
हाँ, दीवार.
Divar, I think.
Yes, दीवार. So it is दीवार. So दीवार में था अमिताभ बच्चन and Shashi Kapoor. So Amitabh Bachchan was a bad guy and Shashi Kapoor was a policeman. Both were brothers. So Amitabh Bachchan written, "Mera Baap Chor Hai." Amitabh Bachchan not written, but somebody, when Amitabh Bachchan was a child, it was written, and he grew up. And this guy also, who came to Bombay, he also had mentioned on his hand, "Mera Baap Chor Hai." Now तो he become a devotee. अभी what to do? उसके हाथ में जिधर जाएगा लोग देखेंगे, "अरे मेरा बाप चोर है." But when people become devotees now, they get intelligence also. Lord Krishna gives them intelligence. So immediately change, "मेरा बाप माखन चोर है." तो उधर लिखे apostrophe लिखे, ऊपर लिखे माखन चोर लिख दिया. So then, now you become a devotee. So everything is perfect. So yeah, Lord Krishna is stealing. He also said, who is my father? Who is Makhan Chor? Who is Makhan Chor? Who is Lord Krishna? So here we are reading about his pastime. So Yashoda suggested, if you are aware of all this, why not hide the pots? By not doing so, you are only agitating my playful child. The gopis explained, "We tried hiding the pots, but if Krishna can't find the teats, he gets upset with the household. He becomes furious when the gopis do not follow his order to give butter to the monkeys, that they have come to the door. He warns us, saying, 'Wait there, I'll come with a burning piece of coal tomorrow. If you don't give me yogurt, I will burn your house.' They continued. Then he would tease the babies and bother them, scratching them with the snails and running away. So what he'll do, he'll say, 'I'll burn your house if you don't give me butter.' And he's always loving to the monkeys. So how many of you have gone to Vrindavan in this group, who have visited Vrindavan? I think most of you would have. Just raise your hands, gone to Vrindavan, visited Vrindavan. So Riti Sood has gone to Vrindavan. Nitin Prabhuji, you have been to Vrindavan, of course. Hare Krishna. Nitin Prabhuji, you have been to Vrindavan? You're mute, okay. Iris, you have been to Vrindavan?
No.
No, you have not been? Okay. Keshavi, mother, you have been to Vrindavan? Okay. So if somebody who has been to Vrindavan, so you have to be careful about your specs. If you're wearing glasses, you cannot wear glasses at that place because the monkeys will steal it, and then you'll have to give fruity to them. Without fruity or something,
Yes.
you have to give fruity to them, or then only you will get your specs glasses back, but it will not be proper. It will be damaged a little bit. Then only you get. So whenever you enter Vrindavan, only the Vrindavan area, not Barsana or Gokul, Nandgaon, there it is okay. But the monkeys in Vrindavan are very mischievous. So they will steal your glasses within seconds. You will not realize, somebody has stolen. In fact, recently this year only when we were there, so my wife and me were sitting in the rickshaw. So I didn't keep this thing specs inside. But in I had been to one temple. I was by mistake. I was wearing a glass. It was late at night. The monkey. We had been to Radha Raman temple, so we were just coming out from there, and we go Gopal Bhatt Goswami Samadhi Mandir is there. We were coming out, and the monkey suddenly came on behind on my wife's shoulder. He jumped there, and he was just coming there. So my wife just shrugged him, and he went. So the other guy told her, "You are wearing specs. You have not removed it." So actually, when I went inside the temple, I wore it, and then I forgot to remove it. So he came. But if you go to Vrindavan, they immediately come. So when I was going in a rickshaw and e-rickshaw and there was one new person who was coming, who came there. We just told him, don't wear specs here. The monkeys. He was saying, नहीं कुछ नहीं होता है, ऐसे ही होता है, हो जाएगा. उसको बोला, and he just got out. He even didn't step out. A monkey came, took his specs, went off, and he's wondering, what had happened. So just पहले हमने warning दिया, he didn't listen. So wearing specs means you have to be prepared for giving a fruity. First thing, you should, when you go there, take spare specs and wear your old specs whenever required. Preferably, you cannot wear specs. So the monkeys are very, very mischievous. And only at that area, you also see, because they always are blessed by Lord Krishna. So here also monkeys are given preference. So they are given the yogurt or butter first. Yeah, and here also, so what Lord Krishna is doing, he's disturbing, he's scratching them with nails so that the child will cry and all the gopis will rush to their children, and then he can steal the butter. In this way, there was no end to the complaints of the gopis. Sometimes, as the gopis spoke, Krishna would be present there, but he would put on his most gentle behavior, as if he was absolutely innocent, and the gopis' complaints were nothing but a piece of bluff. Sometimes Mother Yashoda defended Krishna before the gopis, but sometimes she also scolded him to teach him good conduct and discipline him. So Yashoda is also defending, but she's also scolding, and the mother relationship which is happening. That her absorption in an eternal mood as a mother of Krishna. Krishna's butter thievery emptied the butter pots of the gopis, but filled their hearts with boundless delight. Flip forward to dive deeper into the sweetness of Krishna's past. A lesson on sharing joy. So this is a very nice lesson. The gopis' act of playfully sharing Krishna's butter-stealing adventures with Yashoda highlights the power of sharing joy. Actually, they are not sharing complaints; they are sharing joy with Yashoda. Also, they appear to be complaining, but it's actually their happiness which they are sharing. So sharing joy makes us more happy. Beyond their mock scolding, their aim was to spread the delight of Krishna's mischievous deeds. In describing Krishna's pastimes, not only Yashoda but also the gopis experienced immense joy. This offers a lesson. Sharing joy amplifies it. By sharing sweet and positive experiences with others, we not only enhance our joy but also uplift those around us, build stronger friendships, nurture a sense of community, and foster a happier atmosphere. So sharing joy will make us more happy. Much like the gopis, when we willingly share our joyful moments, we will create a chain reaction of happiness that enriches both our lives and the lives of those we touch. So this will bring positive. But if you see the reverse, if we start sharing only sorrows, "Arey, main to hamesha dukhi hu, I have this problem, I have that problem," then that will also amplify. Our sorrows will amplify if we keep on sharing only our sorrows. So we should never, in fact, we should never share our sorrows. We should only share good things. That will amplify further. So this is an important lesson. So there's one more thing which we listen from Nityananda is, so suppose there is a pain, if you are asked to hold a brick or a take some heavy article for some time, so for 10 seconds you're holding, so you'll not feel it heavy. But if you hold for say 30 seconds, you'll feel little heavy. But if you hold for 2 minutes, then little more heavy. But if you hold that a brick or some heavy item for say 5 minutes, you will be starting feeling the pain. So that's the thing. If we start keeping a bad thing or a sad thing in our heart for some time, 2 minutes, it's okay. But if you keep it for a long time, then it will create pain for us. So always try to forget anything which has happened, which is negative, forget that and forgive that person also. It will give you a lot of peace. And whenever you feel angry on somebody, what you should do, because I'm in a corporate world, so one thing we learn is whenever we have to, suppose if you are angry on somebody, on some colleague who is not working, you draft a mail, write something, whatever you want to write, and then delete that mail. That will give you a lot of relief. You will be actually free. So you want to say something, so type karo, WhatsApp message, but don't send it. Then delete that message. So that will actually relieve you from that anger which you have. So what I'll do, I'll go to Dhruv story now. This will see if we can do it after Dhruv story. Okay. Because Dhruv story is little big, it's a little long one. So Dhruv is a small child. He's a 5-year-old child. So he's born to King Uttanpada. Uttanpada is who? Uttanpada is the son of Swayambhu Manu. You have seen Swayambhu Manu had 2 sons and 3 daughters. So Uttanpada was one of his sons. And this Uttanpada had 2 queens. He had Queen Suniti and Suruchi. And his younger queen was Suruchi. She was young and beautiful. So, and she was very, very dear to Uttanpada. So generally you see people who have multiple wives, so they will always, the younger wife, if you see Ramayana also, Kekai was the most beloved of Dashrath Maharaj because she was young, and that's why. And Suruchi also, she's a younger one, so she's a favorite of Uttanpada. But Suniti, who was the elder one, she was not favorite. Suniti had a son named Dhruv, and Suruchi had a son named Uttam. So we are listening to now Dhruv's story. So one day what happened, Uttanpada was a king. So he was ruling and he was sitting on the throne. At that time, Uttam, who is the son of his younger wife, he came and sat on the lap of the king, Uttanpada. At that time, when Dhruv saw, he also had the feeling, he also got the feeling, I should also go and sit on my father's lap. So that I also get that style also. I also want a love because he is a small child. But Uttanpada was so much henpecked. Henpecked is, in the control of his wife. Whatever wife says, he'll do. So he was in the control of Suruchi, his younger wife. And she did not like it. So she doesn't like giving love to Dhruv anyway. So he did not allow Dhruv to sit on his lap. And not only that, Suruchi then starts telling, harsh words to Dhruv. So first is she did not allow Dhruv to sit on the father's lap. Then she's telling harsh words to Dhruv. Dhruv is just a 5-year-old child, and Suruchi is telling. So she's telling, oh child, also you are also the son of the king. You don't deserve to sit on his lap or the throne because you are not born of me. Because you're not born of me. Being a mere child, you are unaware of the difference between your mother and me. Therefore, your desire is impossible to fulfill. If you still wish to sit on the king's lap, then worship Lord Vishnu and by his mercy take birth as my son in your next life. So she's actually telling him, in this birth you don't have any opportunity on sitting on the king, getting love from your father because you're not born out of me. Now what you do, you go and worship Lord Vishnu and take fresh birth. Come again as my son. So indirectly she's saying, you die and get a birth again. But one thing is that, she said important thing. You should worship Lord Vishnu. And that she said, but she was not a devotee of Lord Vishnu, but she said like that just to impress. And with this harsh words, Dhruv became very angry, because he's a Kshatriya. He became very angry. He just saw there, and Uttanpada was handpicked husband. He did not say a word. He did not, pacify his son, don't worry and all this. He let, because in front of his wife, he could not say anything. So what Dhruv did, he immediately went crying to his mother Suniti. And Suniti also already came to know about this incident. So she was also a little sad. But he tells, she's now telling his son Dhruv. So how Suniti? Suniti, the meaning of Suniti is nice, Niti, or what is in Suniti is positive teachings or positive preaching. Suniti is the right thing to do. The right, not getting the right word for this, but Sunniti means they will give you the right teachings or right actions to be done. So she's telling to her son, my dear child, please do not wish ill fortune for others. So first thing she's teaching her child, Dhruv, also this has happened, don't have any ill...
Sir, strategy for Niti.
Nitika,
Strategy is right word.
Strategy is also a word from her, yes, politics. So the right strategy, yes, that's also right. So she will always teach you right strategy or right thing to do in the situation, even if something bad has happened. So now she's teaching her son that, first thing, don't have any ill fortune. Kisi ke bare mein bura mat socho, even if that person has done bad with you. Very, very important, otherwise you will not be in the right balance of mind. So first thing is that. She's saying one suffers a pain as a result of one's own past mistakes. So whatever we are suffering, in the whole Bhagavatam, one thing is very, very clear that, whatever we suffer, whatever we undergo is because of our past deeds, misdeeds, or whatever deeds we have done. So never blame others. You have taken birth from an unfortunate woman. Your father feels ashamed to accept me as his wife or even as a maid servant. What Suruchi has said true. If you desire to sit on the same throne as your stepbrother, follow Suruchi's advice of worshipping Lord Vasudev without being envious of her. So she's telling, this is the right thing you should do. To unify your own son, she's telling. Only by worshipping Vasudev, your great grandfather Brahma could create the universe. So we had seen how Lord Brahma created the universe only after doing tapasya for 100 years. Or he did austerity. Then Lord Vishnu gave him that knowledge. And your grandfather Manu achieved happiness and liberation. So you also take shelter of the Lord. He is very kind to his devotees. And she's giving him, this is the thing. But how to do that? She knows, I don't know how to do that. But the only thing is, if anyone who wants to do tapasya, they go to the forest. That's the only thing. So she guided him. So she told him these steps. And then you go to keep him in our heart and do that. And she's telling, she was okay with her son, 5-year-old son, going to the forest and doing this thing. So Dhruv was still angry, and then because of a Kshatriya, he decided he must attain a position. So what he did, he wanted to attain a position greater than Lord Brahma. So Lord Brahma is the creator of the universe, is the creator of the Brahmalok, this whole universe. And he decided, Dhruv, that I want to become greater than my great-grandfather, Lord Brahma. So his great-grandfather is Lord Brahma, grandfather is Swayambhuva Manu, and then his father is Uttampada. So then he decides to leave home and goes to the forest. Now, when he goes to the forest, so Lord Vishnu comes to know about this. So he sends Narad Muni. He sends Narad to go and guide him. So Narad Muni first meets Dhruv in the forest. He first wants to test. So any guru will first test his disciple. How strict, how disciplined, how true that person is, how sincere that the disciple is in doing tapasya and austerity. So first he goes there, and then he touches the boy. He meets him. He says, how wonderful are the Kshatriyas who cannot tolerate even a slight infringement upon their prestige. So he is just a child. He has taken harsh words of his stepmother so seriously. So now he speaks, my dear boy, you are just a child, and you should not be affected by honor or dishonor. Generally, children are attached to playing. But if you are so developed to understand honor and insult, you should also understand that we receive honor or dishonor due to our karma or past activities. So Narad Muni is also saying same thing what his mother told. So an intelligent person is not disappointed by such temporary experiences. Narad Muni tested Dhru's determination. He says, dear Dhru, you have come to the forest to worship Lord Vasudeva. But it is very difficult to satisfy him. So many great yogis fail to understand and please him, even in many lifetimes. So please go back home, for you will not be successful. Then when you grow up, you can attempt to worship Vishnu. What he's saying, you are very young, Lord Vasudeva is very difficult to be pleased. It's not easy. Lord Shiva is very easy. You can please him. But he can give you something. He has a limitation something. So he cannot give you liberation beyond what Lord Vishnu can give. So he's testing him. He's saying, now you go, you come back when you grow up. So Dhru is replying, oh great sage, I can't accept your advice. Also, your instructions are very good for peace of mind. I am not submissive due to my Kshatriya temperament. Dhru's harsh words have pierced my heart. She didn't allow me to sit at my father's lap or throne. Now I desire the most exalted position in the universe, which my forefathers or even Brahma has not attained. Please advise an honest path to achieve the goal. So Narad was impressed, that Dhru is very clear. His goal is clear and he's honest. So he's saying, okay, so now Narad is convinced. Now he says, dear child, I recommend that you perform bhakti to Lord Vasudeva as described by your mother. Worshipping him is the only method to achieve any human goal. Go to Madhuvan on the bank of Yamuna, where he resides eternally. Take bath 3 times a day in the Yamuna river. Meditate on Lord Vasudeva with a peaceful mind. So Madhuvan is nothing but the place near Vrindavan. So there are 12 ones. So Madhuvan is also one in Vrindavan. So Lord Vishnu, that place of Vrindavan is existing eternally, and it is coming from Golok Vrindavan. So it's a place already auspicious. So Narad is saying, Lord is staying there eternally. You go there, you take a bath there, and you start worshipping Lord Vishnu. Take 3 times bath and meditate on Lord Vishnu. And then now Narad is describing how Lord Vasudeva appears, how he looks like, so that when Dhru will do meditation, he will have that space in his mind. So when he'll meditate, he'll think about it. So he's telling about Lord Vishnu's forms, 4 hands with a conch, this club, and beautiful with a costume, jewel, necklace, earrings, bracelet, with yellow silk clothes, shining golden anklets, his jewel-like nails which are glittering, and he stands on the bowl of a lotus of the hearts. So he's giving him complete pictures, and he says, now I'll give you one mantra also. He gives him a mantra. His mantra is very famous, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So Dhru will do meditation on this month, and he will start meditation. And he's saying, you can offer the Lord water, fruits, flowers, vegetables, whatever you can easily obtain from the forest. So whatever we want to offer to the Lord, it should be within our capacity, but within our capacity, that only we should offer. We can offer. We should not try to show off and try to go beyond our means. Lord is happy with what we can offer with this thing. So Narad Muni has given him proper instructions, and Dhru takes his advice. He circumambulates Narad, and then he starts his meditation. So his meditation is also very difficult. What he'll do, we'll just hear, and he will achieve in 6 months. So after that, Narad also met his father, King Uttanpada, who was worried. My son has gone away to the forest. Narad tells to Uttanpada, don't worry, Lord Vishnu Vasudeva is taking care of him. Don't worry about him. And when he comes, he'll become very, very famous. So you don't worry about him. He'll become very famous, more than you all. So he was consoled, and Uttanpada also felt fine. And Dhru started his meditation, taking a bath. He started. So in the first month, what he started in this first month, he sustained himself by eating kapitha, fruits and berries once in 3 days. So what was doing? He was eating fruits once in 3 days for 1 month. And then in the second month, he ate dry grass and leaves once in 6 days. So first month he's eating once in 3 days, that also fruits. In the second month, he's eating dry leaves and grass. Grass and leaves, that also once in 6 days. In the third month, he just drank water once in 9 days. So he's changing his frequency. In the third month, he's only on water. That also once in 9 months. And in the fourth month, he just breathed air once in 12 days. So once in 12 days, only air, nothing. That also once. Without that, he's not breathing. Dhruv had controlled his breath and mind in the 5th month and stood motionless on one foot like a pillar. So on the 5th month, nothing, no breathing also, everything stopped. He thus meditated on Lord Vasudev's beautiful form without distraction. And he was just thinking the Lord in his heart. So what happened after that? Dhruv practically became as heavy as the Lord because of his meditation. Although he was not eating anything, he became as heavy as the Lord. And because of his 1 foot on his toe, the earth was pressed. The earth went down, started going down because of his meditation and with his power. The devtas and residents of all the place planets, they also started feeling suffocated. And the whole 3 worlds trembled. And then everybody, whenever there's a problem, what is the rule? Approach Lord Vishnu. So all the devtas, what they did, they approached Lord Vishnu and they said, we have never experienced this such suffocation, and please help us, save us from this danger. So Lord said, don't worry, my devotee Dhruv is doing tapasya, he's doing a severe tapasya, and I will stop him and save you. And then Lord Vishnu immediately he goes on his birth Garuda to Madhuvan and meets Dhruv. Dhruv is completely absorbed in meditation, so Lord Vishnu is waiting outside, but he's not opening his eyes. So Lord Vishnu, what he does? So Dhruv is watching, having a picture in his mind. He's seeing Lord Vishnu in his mind. That the picture vanishes. So Lord Vishnu, what he does? He vanishes that picture from his mind. And at that time, the Lord, and at that time, Dhruv opens his eyes. And when he opens his eyes, he sees the same picture in front of him. So Lord Vishnu is exactly standing and he just falls flat on his feet. He's doing a dandava to Lord Vishnu. Immediately so happy and he starts crying, he gets that feeling because what you're praying and suddenly that person appears before you, you become ecstatic and you start crying. And after that, Dhruv wanted to worship the Lord, but he didn't know how to worship. He was a small 5-year child. He has not learned prayers. He has not learned any mantras to worship. So what Lord does, he has a conch, the shank. He just touches Dhruv's head and Dhruv gets all the knowledge of this thing. So you would have watched a movie called PK.
Yes.
So in that there is, who is the hero? Who is the lead actor in PK? Yeah, Iris, who is the lead character?
Amir Khan, na?
Amir
Amir
Khan, na? Yes. So Amir Khan is coming from an outside world. He's an alien. How he transfers his knowledge to somebody, or he gets the knowledge from somebody just by touching hands. So if the new age movies can think about that, Lord Vishnu already had this thing. By touching a conch on the head of Dhruv, he gave him all knowledge of teachings, and then immediately Dhruv started offering prayers to the Lord. So he's offering prayers to the Lord very nicely, and then he worships him. I'll not go into that. That is also very beautiful. So then he worships him, and he said, I was a fool that I wanted a position greater than Brahma, but after performing bhakti, I don't need anything. I have found you, which is more than enough. So he was very happy with this thing, and he gave up no revenge against his stepmother and stepbrother. So, but Lord Vishnu was very merciful to Dhruv. He said, "Oh, Prince, all good fortune to you. I know your heart's desire. You can rule this earth for 36,000 years after your father's retirement. So he'll become a ruler for 36,000 years. And your brother Uttama will die while hunting, and your stepmother, she will die in a forest fire when she'll search for her son. And then after ruling this world, you will come to my planet called Dhruvalok. So Dhruvalok is the pole star. The pole star is the one which was given to Dhruv, and Dhruv stays there. He rules there with Lord Vishnu, and that is actually a planet. This is the only planet which has all the features of Vaikuntha. So whenever there's a annihilation, destruction which happens, the Dhruvalok, the pole star, is never dissolved because Dhruv is staying there along with Lord Vishnu. And then Lord Vishnu came back, and then after that, Yeah, so Dhrulok continues to exist like other Vaikunths beyond this universe. So after that, Dhruv did got all thing. When he went back, his father, everybody welcomed him. This I'll just rush through. So he welcomed him, and when by his parents, and everybody was happy, and he was also not having revenge with his brother and stepmother. So he was embraced by everybody. And after some time, when Uttanpada retired, and Dhruv became famous, that he became old. He was at the age of ruling, and his qualities were appreciated by all the ministers. He was made the king for ruling, and then he ruled the kingdom properly. And when Dhruv entered, everything was decorated, so he did that. And Dhruv was also married, and then he went. But afterwards, what happened? As Lord Vishnu had told, his brother Uttam, when he went to forest for hunting, he was killed by a yaksha. He was killed by a yaksha. So when Dhruv became angry because of that, and he went to and started fighting with the yaksha. So he started killing all the yakshas, and there's a lot of battle fight which happened subsequently. So before that, so he got married to one Brahmi, and he also got two wives. So, and he also had a daughter and two sons. So then there was a fighting which happens between Dhruv and the Yakshasas, and he starts killing Yakshas mercilessly, because one of the Yakshas has killed Dhruv's brother. So there's a lot of fighting happening. The Yakshas are also powerful. They used a lot of mystic mystic arms on him. Dhruv is fighting, and he still keeps on killing. But because of this, Swayambhuva Manu and Lord Brahma become little unhappy. So Swayambhuva Manu comes and says, Dhruv, you're killing too many yakshas unwarrantedly. Only one of the yakshas had killed your brother. You cannot be, finishing off all the yakshas. This is not correct. And he told him to stop. And Dhruv immediately agreed, and he understood, and he immediately accepted the advice, and he stopped there. And plus, he said, yakshas are actually they are related to Kuvera, and because of killing yakshas, you are actually disrespecting Kuvera. So don't do that. So he immediately stopped this thing. So after that, he went back, and he ruled the kingdom. And when time came for his moving, so there were the Vishnu Doots who came to take him. And then when he was being taken away after ruling of 36,000 years, when he was being taken away by the Lord Vishnu Doots, he just thought about his mother. He said, right, how can I go without my mother? So immediately the Vishnu Doots told, don't worry, your mother is also being taken. There's there's one more airplane which has come where your mother is being taken away. So the mother was also taken to Vaikuntha along with Dhruv. So Dhruv also went there at Dhrulok. So by hearing the story of Dhruv, one attains great wealth, fame, longevity, heaven, Dhruvalok, pure bhakti, good qualities, power, and respect. All sins and miseries will be diminished. Both the reciter and the audience will become perfect. So Dhruv's story is very important, and one thing we can learn from Dhruv's story, the Lord will give beyond our imagination. If we worship Lord for some small things. Okay, give me one bungalow. This thing, he has the power to give a whole planet. Forget bungalow, all this. He can give you a planet that also a Vaikuntha planet of his own. So that's the power of bhakti. That's the power of devotion to Lord Vishnu. So any questions? Okay, then we'll end the session today. I'll just do a Hare Krishna mantra and then after first do listening. Vansha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhaya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,